Longboat Key sewage spill. What's the latest? What happened? What are we going to do about it? Hi everyone, my name is Mike Rennick. I'm the senior broker, the team lead of Team Rennick, part of that great Mangrove Realty Associates family. My guest this Sunday morning is Mr. Stephen Reed.
Hey.
Stephen, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Stephen is the owner, the publisher of the Longboat Key News and the Sarasota City News, and the all-around expert on many of our topics. Stephen, what's going on? We had a spill.
We had it, well, yeah, sewage, the dark topic that's not so fun to talk about, but it must be addressed.
All right, so let's do that.
All right, so a quick briefing on the background of this.
Okay.
First off, sewage has been an ugly mess from the beginning of time. I don't care if it's been the Romans tossing it out windows in the street, the English letting it flow into the Thames and destroying the Thames River and causing so much plague and infection. So as a society, we've gotten smart. All of Longboat sewage, every bit of wastewater, every huge home you sell, 5, 7 bedrooms, when you flush the toilet, it all flows in one pipe to Manatee County off the north end of Longboat.
The entire island goes all the way through to the north end.
North end.
Goes under the bay.
The subaqueous pipe, iron pipe, an old iron pipe that was built, I believe, in '74. In the early '70s, it was completed. And it was only meant to have about a 25 year lifespan. As you know, in older homes, you always have to worry about those septic pipes on old homes. Same thing here.
Okay.
So,
and you think it was put in about 1974?
Early 70s, yeah.
Well past the 25-year mark.
And we have no issues with it, but as is part of Public Works' job, is they have to make sure that the equipment is up to snuff.
Mm-hmm.
The city, everybody who has utilities pays a portion of their fees to make sure of that. Long story short, in 2017, the town hired Greeley and Hanson, a consulting firm, to do a detailed inspection of the pipe. They literally blew smoke in the pipe to see where it would exit. They put these little balls through the pipe. They used cameras that they scoped the pipe, and they gave a report that said, hey, it has a useful life of another 20 years or so, re-inspect it in 5 years, and do some minor repairs in these identified sections.
Okay.
Town did that. Well, last summer in 2020, there was a rupture that took 2 weeks to figure out, and by the time they figured it out, 14 million gallons of Longboat sewage had spewed, raw sewage, into mangroves on Bradenton, over in West Manatee County, on a developer's property named Carlos Baruth in Longbar Point. 14 million gallons. So that's a lot.
Yeah.
So, as you can imagine, all through the summer, the first step that the city does is fix the problem.
So they triage, the pipe
They
has been
triage,
fixed.
yes. Then there's the investigation, and you know, government is very careful. You know, you do the blame thing. You say, what happened? How come it wasn't discovered? Why did the pipe break?
Right.
Well, first they have to figure out why it took so long to discover, and they're implementing ways to fix that.
Discover after the leak started.
Yeah, because
Why did it take 2
in
weeks?
theory it should be simple. There's pressure readings on both sides. When those readings don't match, there's a problem.
There's something escaping, yes.
Yeah, and so they knew there was a problem, but they thought it was a problem with the meters. And it took a long time. They did figure it out. So then the DEP gets involved. The Department of Environmental Protection gives us all of our, well, they're a body, a state agency that gives us all of our permits. They have to authorize our beach permits. They have to authorize any construction on the shoreline. They have to authorize anything we do, dredging of canals. Very important. So they looked and assessed this and found that we were in violation and gave us basically what's called a consent order that the town agreed to pay about $250,000 in fines, to do about a $250,000 mitigation project, to fix the pipe, to repair the road we built, to restore the mangroves. So you got about $1 million, and attorney's fees, there's all these things.
Oh, yeah.
So the town met last week and said, wait a second, we paid a contractor, we're not going to pretend to know what we're doing with pipes.
That makes sense.
They gave us you deal with real estate, we got an inspection that said all clear.
Absolutely. You turn to the experts for things like that.
Yeah, they say the roof's good, the roof collapsed the next day, you kind of say, hey, you told me the roof was good, I was willing to do a new roof, you told me it was okay. So we now have sent a demand letter to Greeley and Hanson saying, you indemnify us, our residents, which means all of you, because ultimately taxpayers will end up picking up the cost. shouldn't have to pay for this. You all should. It was your mistake.
Mhm.
So this is a big action on the part of the town to recover these costs.
So our position is we did the right steps. We had the contractor involved. We were given a green light, and yet something terrible still happened.
Some terrible still happened. Now, all this story said, can I say a little editorial side to this? Okay.
You certainly may.
Now,
Hang on.
the city of Longboat at that time was pressuring heavily to save money and not spend money on a new pipe.
Okay.
As you know, you can often find a contractor or an inspector, an engineer that leans in to what you wanted. The town was looking to not replace that pipe and to just limp it along and not outlay the money for the new one
To
4
take
years
it
ago.
as far as they could.
They had a big discussion. They were trying to milk it along and put that cost out there. Now, they are going to fast forward that new pipe now. They're never so quickly are they going to build that pipe. And they have to.
Does the whole pipe along the whole island and going out across the water have to be replaced?
No. All these pipes are fed. It's a system. It's like the circulatory system. And it
Okay.
ends up in a bunch of lift stations. Longboat has all these different elevations. You know how, so you
Oh,
have
yeah.
lift stations that then feed all of this water to the north end. It all goes to the north end.
Okay.
And then from the north end, that's the section right about where Moore's is. It enters the water up in the north end,
Yep.
goes underneath. It's from there all the way across, and then it goes for a couple miles to a treatment facility in West Manatee.
Are there preliminary numbers on what it would cost to replace
12
that pipe?
million.
$12 million.
$12 million to replace. And you know, innocently enough, they were just hoping to limp along, use
Well,
the
that-
old pipe.
It makes sense. If we come back to purchasing a house, the question is on that roof, can we get 5 more years out of it, or are we at risk?
Well,
now?
and
Same
like
kind
a
of thing.
roof, unfortunately, like a roof, it's not. You can't take a day off. You have to have that pipe going the whole time you build that redundant pipe.
Okay.
So this isn't something like even a roof where you rip it off, hope it doesn't rain, and
Put it
replace
back
it.
on.
You need every second to have that.
How
pipe.
long would it take to replace, and we may not know the answer, to replace that pipe? Do we know from beginning to end for new construction what it would take?
Time-wise, I don't know because they haven't
Okay.
bid and done all that. But here's what's going to happen. It's going to happen very quickly. The city's looking for some extra money from the state to fast forward the project.
Okay.
It has the money budgeted. I would expect to see that pipe going in within a year. The other
So-
pipe's functioning. It's repaired. They repaired the broken section, but we're on borrowed time.
So bottom line is there's a two-prong approach. We're going back, trying to work with the contractor to find out what happened and who's liable. At the same time, we're looking at replacing the pipe.
Yeah, and you know, we all want to go back to the place where you just pay the bill and you take your sewage for granted. You want to flush, not think, and it goes away.
Correct.
And that's what we're getting back to. But it's a big story, it's expensive, and we have to protect the mangroves and the bay and all that, so it's very
So
important.
we have more to follow. I appreciate that. We definitely have updates coming at us. This is an important issue for the folks on Longboat Key. For those watching, many folks may not know that Longboat is actually setting in 2 counties, Sarasota County and Manatee County, and it's split. Still Longboat Key, still 34228, but it's one city residing in 2 counties, so everything is a little bit more complex. Steve, I appreciate the fact you're sharing this. Thank you. We'll come back for updates.
Thanks.
More to follow. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you.